everybody, and welcome back to Poetic Philosophy, episode number 148, The Dark Night. I am doing something different in this podcast. It's going to be live to the hard drive. Take 2. Hey everybody, welcome back to Poetic Philosophy. And this is take 2 because I did an entire show and I forgot to hit the talk button. It's been a while since I used Cast Blaster this way. Yes, but it adds to what this podcast is about. Because it's in the past. All I can do is learn from it and maybe come up with better, second time will be better. This show is a type of the dark night of the soul because it is our struggles that give us our beauty. Just like when a butterfly is released by the cocoon, you probably heard this 1,000 times. It's nothing new. It needs that struggle to give its color and to actually be able to live. But that image, it's an image that we can continue to ponder on. The poems in this show are Shamanic Moment, The Light of Death, and The Answer Come. And if you want to say thank you or support this podcast, you can purchase my $5 PDF book, A Soul's Journey, at payhip.com/poetry by Robert Parent. And again, thank you for listening and stay creative in the magic of life. And before I get into the show, I want to do a quote. I do these crypto puzzles, and this quote by Mandino was the quote I did this morning. So I decided to put it into this show. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions. Never know too much to learn something new. And that is by Mandino. The first poem is going to be a Shamanic Moment. And in the Shamanic Moment, it shows us we need to die to our old self and not live in the past. We cannot change the past because it is done. All we can do is learn from it so as not to repeat our mistakes. Like remembering to push the talk button when you're doing a podcast on a program I've used, but I haven't used in this way. But we all make mistakes, and we hold on to those mistakes. And also the successes that we've had. A lot of people hold on to those successes and never progress to greater success because they think that's all that they can do. But we are greater than that. Shamanic Moment. After a hard day's work, I go home to rest and to think about the hardships of life. I go to sleep and dream. In my dream, I see a vision a vision of me in my grave, seeing dirt fall on me inch by inch until no light is seen. Angels come to me to teach me of rebirth. 3 days had passed. I come out of the earth as the tree seeing light. The moment of now is my life, being buried. Worms transform my body. Angels teach. The rain falls. A tree grows with sturdy roots. The bark peels. I walk out regenerated, transformed with the wisdom of death and birth. Now that poem came out of, I'm not sure if it was the 80s or 90s. It's definitely an older poem, but it is based on a dream I've had. You know, the dream of me being buried alive. I had that when I was younger. And it scared me back then, but I kept thinking about it. And I didn't truly understand what it meant till I started studying Native American theology and the shamanic death. It's when you're moving forward and everything in the past you leave in the past. Accept your lessons. You learn your lessons. And if you learn your lessons well, whether they're of a success or failure, you'll go on to greater things, greater successes. And we all know people like that in this life who live in the past. They think, oh, things were a lot better back then. But were they really? You know, some things might have been better, but some things probably weren't. Because usually when we look back, I mean, we either remember our failures or our successes. And it depends on where our mindset is. You know, if we continue to judge ourselves, we'll remember our failures. And if we're afraid to move on to greater successes, we'll remember those successes. But we need to move on. We need to grow. This is an awesome place where we are, where we get to create ourselves every day and become something new, something we decide to be. And that decision is each day. We decide, this is who I am today. This is what I'm doing today. The second poem is The Light of Death. In the light of death, all that is not needed in our lives are stripped away to make room for new beauty. The March winds in our lives at the time blow cold and fierce so as to purify the land for the new seed, the new idea. The light of death. March winds blow across the bare landscape, stripped of all their beauty. The trees bend to the will of the wind. The tall human structures stand silent and lifeless. The stars look down on the bare landscape and winks. The man on the moon smiles down on the reverence of the trees to the wind. The sun warms the human structures, giving life to them. The March winds reminds all of the light of death and celebrates the oneness of rebirth. We think fire purifies, but cold does too. They both strip the land. And that's what, for us to move forward, to create something new, we have to prepare the land. We got to get rid of all the weeds and then plant that seed and care for that seed of what we're trying to create in this life. And no one else will do that but us. We wait for circumstances, for the right time to do this, to do that, but the right time never happens if you don't do anything. And that seed dies in the ground because you've never watered it. You've never fed it. The last poem in this, The Answer Come. And The Answer Come wraps up our journey toward bringing in a new idea, a new vision, and shows us that our journey here is the true teacher that brings us the new vision. It's the flower that blooms in spring. The flower came from that seed that was nurtured, and it bloomed in the spring. The answer come. A friend asked, "Why must there be hard times? I try to do right, but it's so difficult." This question has traveled time, through the holy years, through the dark ages, through even World War II. We search for meaning, dance the dance of primal energy, working with our carnal wages, trapped behind our bars. I now think of this question as I sit in my rocker by the fire, watching the snow fall in a New England winter. I have found the answer to that timeless question. You must have trials to be transformed into the other reality. Tired, I go to that job that fills the basic need, food and shelter, clothed in the armor of domesticity. As I lay in my bed, I see handfuls of payment due cover me, immobilized by the life I only knew. As I lay in the grave I dug, I lose my connection and die to the true reality. My guides of spirit come and teach me about the reality I have forgotten. Time does pass. I do get fed until life's spring, where my transformation is. I walk in both these worlds. I share that connection. I wake from the dream of life. And life is a dream. It's like a dream within a dream. I'll leave you with that image to ponder. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of these poems that I've written in the past, I'm getting new insights. Because that's part of what we are. We are one. We don't just do things for ourselves. Yes, we have our desires, but usually those desires end up feeling a greater need that also help the rest of humanity, because we are all one. Humanity needs certain things, and not all of us can see those certain things at the time. So it takes some of us to do the good things. We're always striving for truth. But the greatest lesson that we can learn here on earth is to find out what our gift is. Each of us. And we each must help each other to find our gifts, their gifts, our gifts. same thing. We're one. This is also what I believe God is. God is so much bigger than humanity. It's so much bigger than the universe. It's consciousness. And that's how we are in the image of God. Because we have that consciousness. We have that imagination to create. So I'm going to say this quote again by Mandino. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask. Never know too much to learn something new. By Mandino. And if you want to thank me or support this podcast, you can purchase my $5 PDF book, A Soul's Journey, at payhip.com/poetry by Robert Parent. I also have books on Amazon too. I have, some regular books you can buy and take with you. I also have some Kindle books up there too, and of course the Black Book. I'm not sure if that's going to be the title yet, but that's going to be up there in the Kindle very soon, within a week or two, as soon as I restructure it. But the reason why that I put this book up as a PDF, once you buy it for $5, it's yours. You can print it up. You can keep it as a file on your phone, because I made it so you can the table of contents is clickable. So if you want to read a poem, you could just click the title of the poem in the table of contents and go to that poem directly. You can print it up. You can share it. And it doesn't matter what happens on Amazon, because what's on Amazon today may be gone tomorrow. That's the reality of this world. Now I'm going to end this with a song. I wrote this song back in the 90s. I actually wrote it for someone, and they didn't want it. They didn't use it. Their loss. My gain. Someone did put music to it, but I used a program. I think it's called MyTunes. Yes, you got to pay for it, but I think they really did a good job, because the lyrics are mine, but the voice, the instruments, that's all AI, and it's just, AI can be the greatest tool that we have, but AI can also be the greatest prison. I choose to use AI to increase my creativity, my imagination, to continue to create new things. So here is God's promise. Thank you for listening. Stay creative in the magic of life.
Walking down a dusty road, my hitcher's thumb is held out high. A speeding car approaches fast. Please, God, don't pass me by. My life is like this lonely path. I move so slow, and I never catch the things I need. Please, God, don't pass me by. God's promise is clear and His love is true. We have all we need, it'll all come true. All together we stand, we are one in His eyes. God's promise is clear, He will hear our cries. The my arms up to the sky and find myself in prayer at last. Please, God, don't pass me by. I ask, where are the things I need? Why do I fail at things I try? Where is the voice I want to hear? Please, God, don't pass me by. God's promise is clear and His love is true. We have all we need, it'll all come true. All together we stand, we are one in His eyes. God's promise is clear, He will hear our cry. Then a voice within me speaks, a silent sound, a holy sigh. I have within me all I need. God didn't pass me by. If I can just remember this, remember that it is no lie. No one but me refused God's gifts. God didn't pass me by. God's promise is clear, His love is true. We have all we need, it'll all come true. All together we stand, we are one in His eyes. God's promise is clear, He will hear our cry.
Powered by Cast Blaster.